Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would give you a 5-hour update on the Blue Angels Cruzer. So in just a minute, I'll talk about some specific performance numbers that I'm getting so far with the airplane. But just as a general overview, the airplane flies great. I have noticed no bad habits. It does not have a tendency to drop a wing near a stall. The visibility is just amazing outside the bubble windows and the glass top. It trims out well, it flies nice. It's a great flying airplane. I haven't noticed any bad habits with the airplane. Well, the first thing I want to show you in the engine compartment is the fuel filter with this blue banjo fitting. Now what I noticed was when I rubbed my finger under here, I would get a little bit of fuel on my finger, which means it's seeping out between the banjo fitting and the filter. It's sealed by these copper crush washers. And what happens is the more you tighten this, I think this soft aluminum on the fuel filter is just sort of crushing or deforming, and it's not creating a perfect seal. When I noticed it was leaking, I did tighten this a little bit more, and it hasn't leaked since. My finger is perfectly dry, but it's something I'm going to keep my eye on. And if I do need to fix it, if it does start to seep out of there again, I've already ordered the parts that I'm going to use to fix this. So I will replace this banjo fitting with a T fitting. And this part here will thread into the fuel filter. The fuel line will connect to the top here, and then the fuel pressure sensor will thread into here, and that eliminates the banjo and these crush washers. And I can put some of the fuel sealant on these fittings and put it all back together like that. And I think this will create a better seal than that. But like I said, right now, I tightened it. There's no more seepage. It seems to be good. So right now I'll leave it as it is and keep an eye on it. At the very least, when it comes time for the annual, when I replace this filter, I may just replace this anyway, just to avoid that in the future. Now the next issue I have is on top of the fuel pumps. It's actually the same issue as the fuel filter. You can see it's got the blue banjo fitting here with the copper crush washers. Now this one's a little bit worse. When I put my finger around there, I don't know if you can see, it's pretty wet. There's actually a bit of fuel seeping out of there. The backup pump here is perfectly dry, but this pump here, which is the primary pump, yeah, like I said, it's seeping fuel out of there pretty good. And I've already tightened this before, and that didn't seem to help. So I'm going to remove this banjo fitting, replace all the copper crush washers and rebuild it, and just hope that the next time I do it, it seals better and doesn't leak. So my next step before I fly again is to order some of these new washers and kind of rebuild this. That's why I only have 5 hours on the airplane. I've kind of stopped flying it since I found this. I just don't want to take any chances with fuel seeping out of here and having an issue with a fire or something like that. So once I get this fixed, we'll be back in the air. All right, now some of you guys have been asking me what kind of performance numbers I'm getting as far as climb rates and cruise speeds. Now here's a picture of the Dynon that I took on, I think the second or maybe the third flight. You can see the Hobbs meter on the bottom left-hand corner is at 3.1. So that's probably the third flight. So I have a true airspeed of 102 miles an hour, an indicated speed of 94, and that's at a density altitude of 5,500 feet with an outside air temperature of 58 degrees. Now the first couple flights I did, I had way too much pitch in the prop. And even to get to 2,500 RPM that you see here, the engine just really seemed like it was working hard. And again, it's because I had way too much pitch in the prop. Now I think the next flight is where I took some of that pitch out. Now this isn't really an apples to apples comparison. You can see it's 20 degrees warmer now. It's 78 degrees. I'm about 1,000 feet lower, and I'm indicating 81 miles an hour with a true airspeed of 86. So these speeds that I'm showing are a lot slower than what I was expecting. But at this point, I don't know if I have the propeller optimized at the perfect pitch setting. And I also don't know if the airspeed indicator is reading accurately. I have a feeling it might be reading slow. I did do the EAA test card number 4, which they call the rough pedostatic check. And I flew the box pattern, north, south, east, and west. But the day that I did it was pretty gusty, and it was really hard to get accurate numbers because they were kind of bouncing all over the place. But the numbers I did write down was that I had an average indicated airspeed of 76 miles an hour and an average ground speed of 88. And with that setting in the prop, I used 60 miles an hour for climb, and I got 3,130 RPM, which is close to the 3,300 limit, which gave me 1,300 feet per minute on the climb. So I think right now the propeller is set for more of a climb prop, so I can probably add maybe another degree or two of pitch and see if that increases the speed. But that's all the testing I've done so far. After this flight is when I saw the fuel seeping out of the fuel pump, and I haven't flown the airplane since, like I said, until I get that system replaced or get those washers replaced. So I'm kind of curious to go up and fly again and see, maybe I'll add another degree of pitch into the prop, and hopefully I can fly super early in the morning or late in the evening where it's fairly calm and get some more accurate numbers. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's all the info I have for you right now. Like I said, I've only done, I think, 4 flights or maybe 5 in the airplane, so I don't have that much time on it yet. But if you are interested in keeping up with the progress, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell, because as soon as I replace these copper washers on the fuel pump, I'll start flying again, and I'll update you guys on speeds and all those kind of performance numbers. As always, please leave a thumbs up if you don't mind. If you have a question, leave it in the comments section below. I do try to answer all the questions that you guys leave in the comments section. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.